In a world racing with horsepower, torque curves, and aerodynamic fairings, there lies a machine not designed to break the sound barrier, not meant for lap records, but built to ignite a revolution, the Daimler Reitwagen 1885. This wasn't a motorcycle by today's standards. It didn't roar. It didn't lean into corners. It didn't slice through air with a sleek fairing. But what it did, was spark the flame of every single two-wheeled masterpiece that came after it. Before the Reitwagen, people could ride bicycles, and a few dared to ride steam-powered contraptions. But this was the world's first gasoline-powered motorcycle. This was the alpha of motorcycling history, the quiet godfather to every street beast you admire today. Imagine the silence of the late 1800s, horses clopping, carriages creaking, steam hissing. Then suddenly, a mechanical murmur, something different, something unnatural, something with a pulse of its own. That was the Daimler Reitwagen entering the world stage. It didn't scream down highways at 200 kilometers per hour, but it moved forward powered by internal combustion, the same fire and fuel formula that would later give us Ducatis, Harleys, Hayabusas, and even electric rockets. The Reitwagen came from the minds of Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach, two visionaries who weren't just trying to build a bike, they were inventing a future. The engine was a modest 264cc single-cylinder four-stroke. Doesn't sound like much, right? Half a horsepower, a tortoise by today's standards. But don't let that number fool you. This engine wasn't just turning a wheel, it was turning the page of human mobility. That tiny motor breathed fire into the wooden frame it sat inside, delivering a top speed of just 11 kilometers per hour. But in 1885, that was a miracle. That was defiance against limitations. It was a declaration. We will move faster, and we will move free. It had a raw wooden frame, thin iron-reinforced wheels, and a set of small stabilizing outrigger wheels, almost like training wheels. But those weren't for inexperience. Those were for uncharted territory. No one had ridden a gasoline-powered two-wheeler before. There was no manual, no reference point. Every second the Reitwagen moved was a moment of history being written in real time. This wasn't a commercial product. It wasn't built for style, for market, or for thrill seekers. It was built to prove a point, that an internal combustion engine could live on two wheels and carry mankind forward. Now let's talk about the hidden genius. The Reitwagen didn't just have an engine, it had the bones of something far more powerful. It introduced the concept of gasoline mobility in a compact, personal machine. It challenged the dominance of horses and carriages. It demonstrated that a small engine could power a new form of transportation, light, nimble, and scalable. The fuel tank, integrated below the seat. The engine, suspended low to balance the weight. The belt drive system, primitive, but effective. There was no clutch, no gearbox, no brakes as we know them. But it moved, and in doing so, it breathed life into a dream. What about the price? Well, the Reitwagen was never sold commercially. It was a prototype, a proof of concept. So if you ask about price, it's beyond gold, it is priceless. Because without this one machine, there would be no superbikes, no cafe racers, no touring beasts or scramblers. Every two-wheeled marvel today carries the DNA of the Reitwagen. It's the atom of motorcycles. In a way, riding a motorcycle is an act of rebellion, a refusal to sit in boxes, a desire to lean, to roar, to feel the wind. The Reitwagen may not have roared, but it rebelled against an entire era. It went against the norm and said, I won't follow the tracks laid by horses or carriages, I will carve my own. And from that defiance, we got the global culture of biking. Whether you ride a Harley on Route 66, a Royal Enfield through the Himalayas, or a Gixxer on city streets, you're riding a legacy that began with this humble wooden-framed, half-horsepower miracle. People often overlook the past while glorifying the present. But the truth is, without the Reitwagen, there would be no present to glorify in motorcycling. No MotoGP, no Isle of Man TT, no thunderous Sunday rides or night cruises under neon city lights. The Reitwagen was the ancestor. It had no rivals, no market competition, no sponsors. It wasn't racing anyone, it was racing against impossibility.